You can see the lovely pines here in the low light towards the evening. It's not that time of year when they get really ready. When I say ready, I don't mean ready for action, I mean reddish. Sort of reddish tint on their barks. That's not visible yet so much on these ones, although that one's getting there. But that would be perhaps more in the summer when they're full of their sap and everything. But still very nice look about those pines. Yeah, it was that. I just passed the last Tankstelle or sort of fuel station before the boundary, the border with Poland. Not that there is a border with Poland really. It's obviously Schengen, so it's border free effectively, as you will see. However, this used to be for some years the border of the Eurovision Song Contest. No, not the well, yes, that as well actually, but it was the border of the boundary of the European Union. And the odour was well, I mean, when I first went out to Poland wasn't in the EU for the first, in fact, it didn't join the EU till 2003 in the end. So for 14 years, this was the boundary of the European Union. For a few years it was an internal boundary within the European Union, and then afterwards it became effectively included in Schengen. So Schengen precedes the timing of Poland joining the European Union. All these other countries were in Schengen a long time before that, but Poland didn't accede to Schengen until about 3 years after joining the European Union, and so therefore 3 or 4 years, I can't remember exactly. So there was a period of time when Poland was in the European Union, so it became rather easier at the border, but still there were checks. There were just easier checks. And the same applies to the Czechs. They also had checks, but a different spelling of the two times that you say Czech in that sentence. So this, in the dim and distant past, and the road has the same shape and feel to it. This is always a little bit exciting because while you were here, you were still in the European Union, you were still effectively at home, and I was still, in a certain comfort zone. Germany gives to me always a certain comfort zone, but going across, to Poland when it was especially newly free, and sometimes people over there didn't necessarily know, well, officials didn't really know how to behave, let's say, sometimes at first, and nowadays they're much more human, but you never know what to expect. You didn't used to know what to expect at the border. Sometimes there were huge queues, sometimes it was difficult checks, CHECKS. Sometimes, all of this that we're driving on now, all of this place would be full of lorries back to back. In fact, that was a general rule. This particular stretch of road that we're on now used to be. I mean, for 14 years it was packed back to back with lorries the whole way. Even now they want to slow you right down on this stretch because I suppose it's the end of one. It's a Bundesgrenze. I suppose they want to have a look and see, or be able to look and see who's coming and going if they want to, even though they won't do it on a daily basis. There are times when they're actually perfectly within their rights to re-establish the checks at the checkpoints which exist. And remember that they don't have a checkpoint in all places.